Welcome aboard the number 5 bus operated by Stagecoach Bluebird, formerly known by the much catchier name of Northern Scottish Omnibuses Limited. It is making leisurely progress out of Aberdeen along the B9119 to the subject of this podcast, which is Westhill.
Westhill, Aberdeenshire, population 12,290, rank number 803.
Just been dumped off the bus in Westhill, and I'm walking along the A944 with my ultimate ambition to get to the Shepherd's Rest. It's the only pub in Westhill known to serve real ale. A pint of the bitter and twisted, please.
Okay, enjoy your pint.
Cheers. Suitably armed, let's take stock of where we are. And if you think of Westhill as a slightly bland new town 8 miles out of Aberdeen, then you're not entirely wrong. However, it illustrates a thread that runs through several towns in this series, the boom in this area afforded by the oil and gas industry. Sorry, Greta. And secondly, my own particular hobby horse of local government structures. Although, unlike Greta's pals, I haven't started lobbing perfectly serviceable canned foods and sherbet products at public artworks and sporting events in the course of my whinging. Yet. But before we push on with that twofold history lesson, we have a moment to check the show's inbox, where we find an email from a Mr. Brown of York, who says, "Thank goodness you've finally shaken off those various interlopers who were practically co-hosting your show at the end of last season and beginning of this. Whilst their tawdry opinions seem to warrant star billing, my own uncomplaining sidekick duties through several uniformly dull settlements in Series 2 were rewarded with no more than a barely audible snippet of me ordering your beer in episode 913. Well, sorry about that, listener. Let's just say that this podcast has evolved. Not necessarily for the better, you may say, but as a gesture of good faith, if you get yourself to the Station Hotel in Stonehaven tomorrow night, I shall buy you up to 2 pints of your choice. You can't say fairer than that. Pub to stroll along one of Westhill's many functional yet uninspiring thoroughfares, we can return to its history, which, like various other things, according to Philip Larkin, began in 1963, when some bright spark had the idea of redeveloping former farming land for housing. The contemporary discovery of new gas fields offshore, and subsequently huge oil reserves at the turn of the 1970s, transformed the economy of Aberdeenshire, and the pace of Westhill's expansion increased to accommodate workers moving to the area, as well as some of the companies that employ them. On account of fundamental flaws in the Local Government (Scotland) Act 1973, which had hived off Aberdeen into its own council area separate from the county, cracks were beginning to appear in the 1980s when the city attempted to incorporate town into its own territory. Nobly, the community here launched the successful Don't Move Westhill campaign, and it remains in the county of Aberdeenshire to this day. And so, after a brief pilgrimage to the gold postbox that marks the success of local canoeist Tim Bailey at the 2012 Olympics, I have hopped back on a bus into the city, from which I can observe the vast offices and industrial premises of various players in petrochemicals and related industries. And beyond the citadel that is Total Energy's HQ, the largest premises seems to be Robertson's Granite. I'm sure these chaps are churning out dozens of swanky modern kitchen work surfaces every day over and above their standard trade in tombstones. See you next time in Portlethen.
Westhill, Aberdeenshire.